It's The Last of Us Day, and the trailer for Season 2 of the mega popular The Last of Us show is finally here. And while it looks incredibly well made, there's still one gigantic question that is on everyone's mind. Can they actually pull off Part 2? Let's find out. Before we actually take a look at some of the footage from the trailer, I want to get a head start and say that I am one of, if not the biggest The Last of Us fan in the entire world. I played the first game several times. I played the second game several times. I love every piece of dialogue. I know every piece of dialogue. I know every action. I know all the characters. I know everything. I love it all. I think they're two perfect games. They're both 10s, both masterpieces, and people who don't understand those games or think that the story isn't good or whatever don't know what the hell they're talking about. Now, that that's out of the way, let me give a little breakdown on my thoughts of Season 1 of the show. I think Season 1 of The Last of Us is a very well-made show. I think the show did a lot of things right, and I also think the show did a lot of things wrong. First off, the casting. Do I think that Bella Ramsey is the right person to play Ellie? No, I do not. I just don't think she has full capabilities to pull off Ellie as a character. And I know Ashley Johnson, the actual original Ellie, has gone on record and said that she's perfect and that she can't see anybody else in the role, but that's called promotion, and of course she has to say things like that. I think that she is a good choice. I just don't think that she is the best choice or the actual right choice. They could have gone with somebody else, especially even like the casting of Abby for Season 2. That is a better Ellie than who Ellie is. Same thing kind of with Joel. I think at this point, honestly, I gotta be completely honest with you. I think Pedro Pascal is a little overblown at this point. He's good. Everything that he's in, he's good. But is he amazing? No, he's not. And I know people are probably going to go crazy about that. People don't like that because everybody in the world seems to think that Pedro Pascal is probably the best actor of all time, and they're wrong. You need to watch more TV and you need to watch more movies. He's a good Joel. But does he compare to Troy Baker's Joel? No, he does not. Is he a different take on the character? Absolutely. But could a different take on the character be pulled off by a more qualified and better actor? Absolutely. You can see people like Josh Brolin being Joel. You could even see somebody like Bradley Cooper being Joel. You could even see somebody like Ben Affleck being Joel. Even Justin Theroux, after watching The Leftovers, he is a perfect Joel. Could have been Joel 100%, would have been amazing. But when it comes to the actual content of The Last of Us Season 1, I think there's one massive problem with it. And it's that the show didn't focus enough on the story of Joel and Ellie. In the game, you spend roughly 10 to 12 to 15 hours for some people of Joel and Ellie together the entire time, interacting nonstop, growing from hating each other and not wanting anything to do with each other to falling in love with each other and wanting to be with each other forever in a father-daughter kind of way. In the show, you really don't get that. There's not a lot of moments, especially in like the first half of the season, where Joel and Ellie really talk or care about each other in any way at all. And I know they're trying to show it from a perspective of like Ellie doesn't want to be there and Joel has no interest because he's completely shut down, closed off. He's not into that at all. But they just don't really have them interacting in any sort of kind of way. Like there's no real opportunity for the relationship to actually grow. And then all of a sudden you're just like, oh, they care about each other a lot. And it was like, but I don't really see that as it's going through it. There are moments of that, like hints of that. But because you don't spend 10 hours with them fully, you don't get the same kind of feeling that you do in the game, where these characters, you absolutely fall in love with them because you're spending so much time with them and you're seeing their relationship grow right in front of your freaking eyes. In the show, it's like they take every opportunity to fill the space with other characters. Here's Joel and Tess. Here's Joel and Bill. Here's Joel and the natives. Here's Joel and this. Here's that. Like, what about Joel and Ellie? What about them having these interactions? What about them growing together? What about them learning about each other and where they came from and what the issue is and all these things like that? Like, I feel like you learn more about the secondary characters of the show instead of Joel and Ellie. And it's even like the episode with Bill is a fantastic episode. There is no way somebody could look at that episode and say it's a bad episode. But does it do anything at all in terms of Joel and Ellie's relationship? No, it does not. Maybe there's like a scene, 2 scenes in that episode where you're like, okay, I feel like they're having a little bit of connection. There's something going on here. But that's a whole episode wasted on not caring about Joel and Ellie's relationship. And the show does that a little bit too often. There is too much focus on everything else rather than Joel and Ellie, when the entire purpose of The Last of Us is Joel and Ellie. So it's not a bad show at all. I think they did a really great job with it. I just don't think it hits the highs of the game in any way. And that's why I'm scared for Part 2. Because Part 2 has a story that goes way beyond the capabilities of Part 1. And it's a much bigger task to take on. And I think based on what they've done with season 1, they're not going to hit the things that they need to hit in season 2. But after seeing this trailer, I have renewed confidence. It looks stunning. Okay, let's get that straight up out of the way, okay? It looks unbelievably good. You can tell HBO gave them the biggest budget that they've ever given in the world, probably bigger than House of the Dragon. This show looks unreal. Joel is talking to a therapist, not sure what that's about, but other than that, does everything look amazing? Yes, it does. Does Abby look like she can't do anything because she looks like a small little girl? Yeah, I don't know really why that's the case. I feel like it shouldn't be the case. I don't know what the deal is there, especially because in the game, they had such a thing of like, she needs to look like this because she turned herself into a killing machine so that she could avenge her father, so that she can go after Joel, so that she could do all this. And now in the show, they're like, actually, she doesn't need to. She can just be a small girl because Bella Ramsey's so freaking small, it doesn't matter anyway. It's like, that's kind of goes against Abby's character. But anyway, there's just a lot that needs to happen in this season. And I don't know if the show can deliver on it. And the problem with that is that the game is perfect. So there's really no reason for them to do anything different than the game. And based on the trailer, they are doing that, which might be okay in some circumstances, but it's just like you're taking something that's literally a 100% 10 and you're going to make changes. And I understand wanting to make changes because, like, yeah, Neil Druckmann is involved. Maybe there's things that he wanted to do a little bit differently or pull off a little bit differently. Like, some things work better in a game than they do in a show. Some things work better in a show than they do in a game. Obviously, that just makes sense. But character moments, story moments, is that stuff? No, because it translates perfectly. A cutscene translates perfectly from show to game, whatever. It's the same thing, just one's animated, one's not. So while I like seeing that a lot of these scenes are very much directly lifted from the game, which is awesome, like they look one for one, and that's really, really cool. Love to see that. Love to see the devotion to Craig Mazin really loves the games and he's bringing it to the screen. Awesome. Totally all for that. But can they pull off the big moments? Because right now, I don't have the same connection to this Joel and Ellie that I did in the game. I really don't. At all. And that's because of their lack of building that relationship in Season 1. Will those moments hit as hard in Season 2? I don't think they will. I think for people who haven't played the game, they will. I think for people who have played the game, they will not. It'll look amazing when those moments happen, but are you going to feel them like how you're supposed to feel them? I don't think so. I think this trailer works because it appeals to people who have played the game. I think the song, the moment of Ellie with the guitar, Joel on the porch with the guitar, all those moments work because you played the game and you go, oh my God, that was a perfect moment. So when you're thinking about seeing it, you're going, oh my God, when I see it, it's going to be amazing. But can Bella Ramsey pull it off? Can Pedro pull it off? I don't know. I have hopes, but I don't know.